Ruschak, I did the White Rose as my NHG topic. So the White Rose Resistance Group relays communication history because they used letters, leaflets, and protests to oppose the German Nazis. They also showed that common people could have a voice, and they helped reveal the brutality of the Nazis. So this all started with Sophie and Hans Skoll, brother and sister. They grew up in a family that didn't really like the ideas that the Nazis had. But they still had to join the Hitler Youth, of course. Sophie actually kind of liked it and rose in the ranks. And Sophie eventually wanted to become a teacher, and Hans was currently a medical student, but then the war happened, so that didn't happen yet. Sophie, while she was working, said her soul was hungry and the routine was mind-numbing. Hans, however, was put on the front lines as a medic for 3 months, and he saw the things that happened to the Jews, what actually happened, not what they were saying. And then he told his friends when they went back to Munich at the university, and him, Will Graf, and Kurt Huber started the White Rose. So the White Rose was named after a book they had read. It's the Spanish novel Rosa Blanco. Apparently, the White Rose was a symbol of hope in a time of darkness, which is perfect for this. So they started it. They started doing amazing things with their rations and collecting stamps and things like that and papers. They wrote leaflets like the ones here, the 6th leaflet, and they distributed them. They also vandalized things, writing "Long live freedom," "Down with Hitler," and things like that. And on the 6th by the 6th leaflet, Sophie had joined the group, of course, and they wanted to distribute it in a place where lots of people would read it. So they both decided to distribute it at their university, which wasn't the best idea, because when they had a little more to distribute, Sophie put them on a balcony, and students started coming out of class, so she pushed them off, and a caretaker saw her push them off, and that led to the Gestapo's investigations. We'll go back to that in a second, but first of all, I want to marvel about how they were able to communicate during this time, because most form of communication was restricted by the Nazis. Most radio stations were limited to the things that the Nazis approved, and it was impossible to get information from any writing because they were burning books and things like that. So it was really important that they had to do this secretly, and it was really hard to do it secretly. So back to the 6th leaflet. Once the caretaker saw her, of course they got interviewed and the police started coming in. They then thought Sophie and Hans were together, and when they caught them, Hans was holding the 7th draft of the 7th leaflet that was written by Christoph. So on February 22nd, Sophie, Hans, and Christoph were put on trial. They were found guilty and executed by guillotine. Sophie was described as not moving a hair or flinching when she was going to the guillotine, and Hans screamed, "Long live freedom," before he died. And that was 78 years ago. It was a long time ago, but they still made a huge impact. Unfortunately, the Gestapo's investigations didn't stop there, and they also caught Alexander, Kurt, and Willie, and they were either killed or sent to concentration camps, leaving Hans and Sophie's sister Ing to write all about it. But she wasn't the only one. Foreigners also wrote about it in their newspapers, and they broadcasted things like the BBC actually broadcasted a message aimed at the Germans about the White Rose that stirred a lot of things up. And they even managed to grab some of the 6 leaflets that were being flown out of Germany They managed to smuggle them back in and then distribute them by plane by dropping them out of the plane. So even though they were just a few people, they really used their communication skills to help show what was actually happening during this time and created a lot of resistance for the Nazis.